Okay, we're live.
Nice.
Yes. Let's see. Everything is a go.
I don't see it yet.
What do you say?
I don't see it yet on the.
Yeah, it will go on. I know that I'm exactly next to the Wi-Fi, so it should be good connection.
Okay.
Trying to make sure that we're not gonna make people deaf. Test. There you go. Okay, it's connecting. Everything is good. Well, let's see how many people will come online, if anyone will come online. It's a little bit later than usual, but... Georgiana, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Georgiana.
I still don't see it on YouTube.
You don't see the video yet?
Yeah. Oh, here.
Okay.
Photoshop. Yes.
Georgiana, can you tell me if the music is okay? Because right now I'm having the headphones on, so I've been trying to make the music work while I also have the microphone in, and if also my voice is too loud. And if we have a go, I can start doing this.
She hears no music.
I hear no music. Okay, I can put it a bit louder. My voice is fine. Okay, raise it up a little bit. Let's play the next song.
Nice.
Lucian, no music, no party.
Hi, Lucian.
Hello, Lucian. Lucian, wait a second. I'm in Romania. I can meet up Lucian for a podcast. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So, is there any music right now? Okay, good. So we have a go. I don't want it to be too loud. So I was thinking about doing it like this today, since it's very hard for me to get an idea of how to explain things. Maybe it's a bit harder when we have a very open environment. Oh my god, guess who's on Twitch, Marian?
Classy bathroom.
Oh yeah, he's back. Oh.
Welcome back, Classy bathroom.
Yep. If it's too low, I can actually raise up the volumes here. I wasn't sure because I'm looking, like if you guys look at my screen, I'm having the OBS. So I'm having the mixer here. So let's see if I take it all the way up. You guys will have to let me know if it's too loud now. I've been doing tests, so it's good to see you, Classy. I still have that gift you did for Henrik on my computer. It was brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk a little bit about this. And I also told Marian to keep track of what I'm doing and try to explain things a little bit better.
Yes.
Hey, Andrew. Thank you. It's good not to see. That's one reason I love Classy Bathroom. Those comments are the best.
Hey, Andrew.
Georgiana, is it better now, the way you're hearing me, or is it too loud? I think Georgiana will always have to be on my live streams.
She said it's perfect.
She said se aude încet tare, dar e perfect. Mai măcar se aude, asta contează cel mai mult.
I think she was talking about the music.
Oh, okay.
Were you talking about the music? Or were you talking about our voices?
So, if we can go back into this, I want us today to just talk a little bit about art in general and figure out a little bit some, let's say, branches of art, if I can call it like that. Illustration, fine art. What's the use of learning bark drawings? Because I keep showing people bark drawings all the time. Oh, hey, Pete. I'll be able to have some
Hey,
time
Pete.
to work on your thing, by the way. I was actually thinking if I should actually do it live stream, but I think I want to be a little bit more private and share screen with you on Skype and talk about it. Andrew, you're talking about Marian? Yeah, we're doing pretty much together the live stream.
Mm-hmm. Can't find my erasers.
Okay. It's also a little bit interesting for me because I know that the way podcaster does it, you can actually hear yourself as well while you're talking, so I feel a little bit weird. Okay, so let's go back into this. So what I was trying to say about the barks, why do I always keep going back to barks? Let's just say that I have a new student and that person has never drawn before, but they want to do art because they saw, let's say, a painting of Sargent, one of his portraits, and they totally fell in love with it. Of course, I'll go like, can you show me some of your artwork? And then they show it to me, and I can go something like, yes, you have potential, you have a good a perception of contrast, you have good lines and understanding of forms and anatomy a little bit here and there. But one reason I keep wanting to bring back the barks to them, even though they're quite advanced, is because you can't get enough of them. They really do force you to see things. They really make you think. In relationship to just drawing, let's say, the usual stuff that you see on the internet, where it's a lot of pretty portraits and landscape and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you want to be able to draw portraits of someone in particular, that's a different kind of level. So the more you practice, let's say, this bargue way of thinking, the faster you'll become at drawing a specific person correctly. And I'm bringing this one up because by doing this live stream and doing these barks with you guys, I've noticed a tremendous level up to my skills. I am doing this screen prints, and I really need to be good at doing the portraits to be able to make them look like the actors. Otherwise, the client won't be happy and I can't pay my rent. So it has been fantastic for me doing barks with you guys, because my eyes has become sharper, and all the time when I draw, every point I look at, I compare it with everything around it. So it's easier for me to capture the person I'm drawing much faster and much more correct than, let's say, 2 years ago or even 1 year ago. Nice, Pete. I'm glad. Finally, some real art. So, maybe now it's gonna be a bit more easier to explain some stuff in Photoshop, just to show you guys all the stuff that I keep repeating. Let's pick up something from the simple. I found this one's actually online because I have the book and I tried to scan it, but somehow the sparks I got from this site, I think it's an Italian teacher, I don't know what he did, but the quality are very good. So we're gonna be using this one.
The quality in the book is not that good, actually.
No, it's kind of hard to... Hey, Georgia.
Yeah. Hey, Georgia.
So here we go. And oh my god, my computer is at 93 degrees. Let's raise up the hot. Let's put it up. Okay, let's pick up the brush, and I usually have my tool settings here. This brush in particular, I have it from Craig Mullins. I basically do everything with this brush. Okay, I don't know why that doesn't work. There. Now. So let's talk a little bit about how to start a bargue, since that's going to be easier to explain it. There you go. So I have like Photoshop CS5 on this one, since this laptop is quite old, but in general I like using CS6. Okay, so when we start a bargue, we usually tell the students to make sure that the top and bottom are the same size. We don't do it side size, but it's quite similar. When you do side size, if some of you have been on the previous live stream, side size is a a technique. We're using more comparative measurements, but
a method. You said it correctly.
What did you say?
It's a method.
It's a method. Okay, so that's correct.
Yeah.
I have to say it again. It's nothing wrong with doing side size. It's a brilliant way of working. If that's the case, it's easier. You learn faster because you're just translating points in a more simpler way than, let's say, drawing it. How would you explain it, Marian? The difference between side size and, let's say, same size? Because this is something some atelier schools have problems with. Same size, side size, life size.
Side size is more, it's more like you're transferring the measurements of that actual thing, the same size you see them. So you use like measuring instruments like a stick, but instead of like checking what you're doing, like you would check with your eye, you're using the stick before you draw the line. Okay.
Yeah, like I can really explain a little bit. Let's say that you have 1 point here. So that's yeah. So wait, I need to make this one a bit. So you have like this, and then you pick another point here, then another point here, then another point here, then another point, let's say even this one. So this is how it goes. You translate all of these points from the get-go. You find all of them at once.
Yeah,
so this is more of a side size method. We usually tell people not to use this one. Even though you're doing same size, of course, visually you're kind of doing the same thing, but in that way you're training your eyes, because when you get to the casts, you're not bound to do it in this way by having the plumb line and translating the points that you're seeing from the... You need to also stand in the same position to be able to translate the points you're seeing onto the paper.
Andrew Moore is asking if you can't choose something more complicated.
We might actually do something more complicated, but right now I wanted to start with something simple so I can have easier times explaining this, because it has been quite hard for me to do it traditionally, because everything was skewed. It wasn't perfectly horizontally with the image, so the drawing never looked good. And I also wanted to explain a bit more about side size, same size, and life size. When we talk about life size, for example, let's say that you're drawing a portrait. Usually teachers will go like, don't draw it bigger than life size. What that means is that imagine you're touching your top of the head and the bottom of your chin. That is the measurement of your head. That is life size. So they usually say do it life size, not bigger or smaller, so it will feel, let's say, natural. That, for example, if you're drawing a portrait and the portrait is quite far from where you're standing, you don't want to make like a ant portrait. You want to make it bigger. So you want to be able to, how do you say it in English? Have the possibility of calculating proportions to enlarge it based off what you're seeing. So, for example, side size doesn't really help you with that.
Yeah.
You should not improve your art before teaching? What do you mean, Andrew? You should not improve your art before teaching. I don't really get that. Sorry. Alright, so we talked a bit about that.
He's just trolling.
Hmm?
I think he's just trolling.
Yeah, I always talked about, I'm not too serious. I'm not very serious on the live stream. I should become more serious. And now I'm like too serious.
Yeah.
People will be like, boo, we don't like this. What's happening to our tail? So this is how my school does it. So you will still select the top and bottom. Then you take a straight line down. And of course, when you're doing this traditionally, be careful not to push too hard on the line, because you still want to be able to, how do you say it in English? Erase it gently when you start fixing it and so on. So what we ask students, for example, to pick the middle of this here. So imagine that the students will pick the middle here. So let's take another color so you guys can see. There you go. So the red line is actually the plumb line. The plumb line is very good because it really helps you, how do you say it in English? Check, this is vertical points. You should not improve your art before teaching. I don't know, I was just saying. I'm sorry, I just don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, classy bathrobe.
Maybe you should, maybe this guy should learn how to write in English before he writes.
What can I say? I sometimes feel like I don't know how to speak, but I'm trying to take Anders's advice and think slower and speak slower, though it might feel like I'm speaking quite fast.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter, please continue. All right. So, we have the plumb line, then we can see that the red line goes through some certain points. Of course, you can pick it in different parts of the drawing. Let's say that some students feel like they want to pick it up from over here. I usually suggest people not to pick this, the green plumb line. One reason I tell them that is because this one here, this is a floating eye, I usually call it, depending on, let's not say floating eye, a floating abstract shape. It's not really connected with a closed line, which is the profile of the face. So it's much, Marian, can you put your mobile on total silence? No vibrations either.
Okay.
It's like, it feels like you're farting. Okay, let's continue. So I usually tell people to look at an edge that closes in certain abstract shapes. That's one reason I usually suggest people to start with this. This is also very good to work, the plumb line, because this is pretty much, let's say, the comfort zone of your drawing, your reference point. Yes, let's talk about reference point. Let's say that you're drawing, let's just draw it really, really fast. Whatever. So let's say that you're drawing a little portrait. You see this little abstract shape here? This one? Oh, this one? This here, I usually tell people, this is a semi-profile. When you're drawing from life a semi-profile, it's very important you guide your model in the right position. So I tell people, where is your reference point? They point out something around this side of the eye, where they go like, oh, depending if it's a very hard shadow shape, they say that, oh, I'm looking at this edge here in relationship to this one, so I see this edge. I usually tell them to actually look at this, because this is a very sensitive shape. This one, and also on this side here, you can see a little bit of the chin of the cheek, depending on how much it turns. So this one here, this is a reference point. So when you get in position, you look at this point and you try, let's say sometimes people move, and during a 20-minute session, it can really shift. So when you're drawing, you go like, excuse me, can you gently move your head towards the right? And then the model gently moves. And then you look at that abstract shape, which is this one here, and you try to position your model back into the right place, so you won't draw the portrait in different points. So I always suggest this to people. Now, the same thing goes with the bark. Let's say we have the nostril here, whatever, the cat shape here. So I tell people, start with that. That's your reference point. You can build everything from here and spread outwards. Of course, if you look at people like Kim Jun-ji, I think you pronounce his name, that insane artist that just draws from imagination like a god, even though he actually said it really cool that he drew a lot every day, like a no-lifer. But he starts with an eye, finishes with a finger. Of course, it's like someone told me, those are different interests. He has an interest, we have another interest. Let's say fine art versus illustration. In illustration, you really need to be able to draw from imagination. I don't really practice that as much as I want to, because my interest is fine art. It's more like technical approaches. It has to do more with a certain, let's say, feeling and idea behind more of a, how should I explain the fine art concept versus illustration? You know, illustration is more of a different narrative expression than fine art, which is one image and that's it. Let's see what Classy Bathrobe wrote. That reminds me of a pianist savant, where he has the talent to hear anything and then play it immediately, but he still had to practice to get there. I think it's more line work. I don't know, I think if Kim Jun-ji would get into fine art, he will become immediately a god. He will be just fantastic. But I was listening to a very interesting interview with him, and he said, now because I'm more popular, which is fine, of course, makes a very nice income, which gives him the possibility of doing things, but even there, he can't really do the things he loves anymore, because the things he really loves doing is pretty much pornography. And in our today's society, that's kind of a no-no. It's very hard to really show that side of you, so he got a lot of criticism. So for him, fine art is not really his interest. He loves what he's doing. So kudos for us, because if he would have gotten into fine art, we would have been destroyed by now if he put his mind into it. So
I don't know.
It's very hard to say because he's not doing it. It would be interesting if he does.
Yeah.
One reason I'm bringing this one up is because we're surrounded by so much things that we don't know what to pick anymore. And it took, myself included and many other friends of mine, a long time to realize what they want. There are people like, for example, my friend Miles Johnston, who kind of knew what he wanted from the very start and stick to it. In relationship to myself and another friend of mine, that we kind of went around and tried to find something. We were a bit unsure of ourselves. So the internet is great, but at the same time it can be a downer, because you see so many talented people. But one thing you need to be honest about what you love, how should I say it? Let me rephrase that. You really need to be honest of what you want to do and try your best to stick with it, because that's what really speaks out about you. Because if you go around things, you will have difficulties improving on one thing.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with George as well. It's really tricky. I think at the point I'm gonna invite people from the live stream, from the chat on the live stream, because it can also be very interesting for us to talk about things like this. Because what I'm saying right now is not. This is like my opinion, of course. It's what I believe it's true for myself, and of course I want to be open and hear other people's opinions because this is how I grow as a person. I can't just neglect and say no, you're wrong. I still think that illustration is as beautiful as fine art. They just have different way of expressing themselves. But in today's society, you have different kind of branches of, you know, you have the collectors, you have the galleries, and then you have the social Instagram kind of art. So it's a very interesting world we're living in, and things are changing quite rapidly. Okay, let's continue. So let's delete this one here. So what we tell after this to people, just draw with using your eyes. So let's say that the person selected the middle here. It really shows that CS5 is out, it's really outdated. And then we go like, just sketch it. Just be very loose and just, so you have, again, you have the middle dark line on your paper. So I am looking with my eyes in this way, but I don't want to translate. You can see that this little point here is way too up in relationship to this, but I don't really care about that right now. I'm just gonna do the best I can and just sketch something in. And I will explain again about angles and shapes and all of that stuff. Again, you can see that some points are going way too small. The relationship here, from here to here. Oh, wait, I'm using the wrong button. We will actually do corrections. Let's just continue and see what happens. I am also trying to train myself to be a bit more patient. That's not really my cup of tea. But I felt like I was talking with Marian, and it felt like this was the only way for me to be able to explain things better about the bargues and stuff like that. So we can already see mistakes, but let's just go with it. Okay, let's just say that this is like a very rough, fast sketch. We already have some mistakes here and there. Let's see what the chat is saying. Classy bathrobe. I agree. But no, he wrote... Oh my god. You know that Kim Junji was a part of this, I think it's a Kickstarter where artists just drew pornography and stuff like that? I really hope I will get in to do some stuff. I have a very weird fetish with women and dicks. I shouldn't have said that on the live stream. Oops.
No.
No. I agree, but at the same time, it's still more fun to say, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I want to say another joke, but I'm gonna just shut up. Well, that's out there now. Yep, it is out there. Let's see what Georgia said. When I finish the portraits, I promise I'll start bark drawings. The thing also with the barks, it's really frustrating. You can have a teacher online that just points some stuff. Like, for example, I really want to do this with Pete, the guy that just wrote LOL at the end, because he sent me a drawing he's working on and also the reference. And I want to do exactly what I'm doing on the screen right now. Have his drawing on the right side and then the original on the left, and try to explain some stuff. And somehow work in Photoshop to show him a little bit on how to render and finish that drawing. Do you know why women wear makeup and perfume? Do you really want me to get into that discussion, Pete? I can just tell you that I do listen to Jordan Peterson, so I don't know if I should give you that answer. Yeah, I mean, Georgia, I've done the Sergeant one. I'm gonna do that again. More of those videos. I think those were really, really good, and thank you so much for your support back then as well. And there you go, we have hello Andy. Hello Andy. Okay, now let's see. So we have this drawing. Let's take color red and check some mistakes. So like this. So I can already see, and let's do it. Hey, I took red, not black. Beep, beep. There you go. So we can already see that something is off here. We have this little point here, and then this little point here. So you can see that right now, the way this is built doesn't really relate with what I did over there. So this is what, let's say, a very experienced teacher will do with you. He or she will point out things that you miss out. Because it's not that you don't see it, you don't have your eyes, let's say, sharp enough to be able to identify those mistakes that's making the drawing look awkward and not similar to the original. Then let's say we have this point here. What was it? Control? No, shift. This point here. Look at that. Look at how this, even though this one here is not a big difference, maybe it's like 2 millimeters from where I'm seeing it on the screen, but it is. Let's say if you draw a portrait, this is a huge mistake. Because when we look at people, we look first of all at their eyes. And the eyes are so sensitive. You have so much, let's say, small little details that forms a specific person's eye. So it's very important for you to practice and see those small little mistakes to be able to fix them to make it look similar as the reference. Georgia, you supported me a lot. You don't need to be sorry. I'm getting really a lot of help right now from people. That's one reason I want to improve myself and be better at helping. Okay, let's see. So we have that mistake. We can also see, and I can do it like this. This is actually a good idea. Let's pick this abstract shape. There you go. Oops. No, I have to go back. There. So, we have this one. We have this little abstract shape. You guys see this? Tick, 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 tick. There you go. So we have this versus this. Right now, look at this mistake. This one here. Look at that space over there. So the black line is over here. So we have this one here. Oh, sorry, anyways. So we have this much space that we took away from the actual abstract shape of this one, from the actual original reference. And this is much more easy to show. By the way, is the music too loud? It's so annoying in my ears right now. Boop. I just changed the song, it was horrible. Alright, let's see. So we know that this shape is not correct. Let's do it. Am I drawing on which layer? Okay, this is good. So we have this abstract shape that doesn't go correctly with this shape. This one. There you go. This looks better. There we added some very.
Said that the music is kind of loud.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. So classy. So bathrobe. I don't think we really need a lot of music right now. Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
Let's take this ugly face from over here. Okay. Let's take this abstract shape here. Ah. Oh, I love myself. I got so used working on a big screen at my workplace that this is becoming so hard. There you go. We have this abstract shape. Let's color it with green. There you go. Versus. Look at that. Look at those mistakes. This can also be a very interesting way. If you're working with Photoshop, this can also be a very good way for you to kind of learn. I really suggest, like I was talking with Peter about this. Photoshop is a very good tool if you know how to be honest with yourself when you're doing these corrections, first of all. Because you can really learn if you don't have a teacher. I think this is the best way to do it. So I want
Hi, Anders.
Anders! Hey, hey!
And thank you, Georgia. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you liked them.
Which one? Is the one with the girl? The actress?
No, he said he likes my drawings. So.
Oh, your drawings. Yeah, I mean...
Didn't mention a specific one.
They're great. Okay, let's continue. We have also, for example, if we look very closely, let's pick yellow. We have the distance from here to here. Oops. This one. This is too long on the one we drew, and on the original, it needs to. You can see it's much shorter than what we did. There you go. So when you have a teacher, this is what the teacher will look for. And then the teacher would tell you, well, you need to move this line to the right, this line to up, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's try to see the next step. The next step is for me to fix it a little bit more. So that means that I'm gonna shut up for a while and you guys can have fun and talk. Okay. This is what I mean, Marian. Look at the screen. I just take away. Now I can start again. And may I ask a question, guys? Is this helpful for you? And by the way, Anders, I'm really trying to slow down when I speak, and it's less stressful, I can tell you that. Well, Arif Ali, I can tell you that it's not easy to be able to... How should I phrase it? It's not that it's hard in that way. It also has to do with skills, like the way you know how to use the pencil and the gesture of how you make each line and stuff like that. I can't really give an answer on how you can actually do this on your own, but it's worth trying everything. Maybe if you get into some photoshopping and you take one of the plates that I'm working on, I can actually share this picture with everyone on the chat. And just install Photoshop if you have it. It's also for free online. And give it a shot. You can buy a little tablet. It doesn't need to be professional. Just enough for you to be able to push yourself to see those mistakes. And again, it's very easy to cheat in Photoshop. Just be honest with yourself and take it as a learning experience. You don't need to share what you do on Instagram. It's for yourself only. I know, but maybe, Georgia, when I'm done here, this video will be online. You can always rewatch it and pause it and just try to follow the steps. Hampus Hagnell, thank you, appreciate it. This is not the first or the last time I'm gonna do something like this. I will always go back to the first bargues and do them as many times as possible because it's good for me as well. I really think digital is a fantastic learning tool. Some traditional schools, I think they're getting a little bit more easygoing with it. They're starting to actually, like for example, the Barcelona Academy, they have digital courses, which I think is really good. Because we live more in a digitalized world. We have movies, games, etc. So it's always good to have the skill. I have commissions where I have to work digitally, and I've been very fortunate to have a lot of friends that does concept art, and it has helped me a lot to learn about masks, layers, bit mapping, separations, and stuff like that. Let's see what people have been writing. It helped me a lot. Was doing mostly copies of the pictures I like and feel I could draw. Yeah. Like I said, I think if you find a way to use Photoshop that will basically teach you, it's great. If you find a different way that I'm doing right now and you benefited from it, George, please let me know. Pete, absolutely. I love anything pertaining.
I love anything pertaining to fundamentals and ideas of an approach. I think he refers to like belonging to the fundamental idea of approach. Class I'm in is site size though. I've been drawing comparatively for years, still do.
I agree with Pete. Site size has its benefits as well. I want to be a little bit more less stubborn and accept that, you know, there's always good and bad regarding anything in life. And I used to be a little bit of a needy towards site size, and I really think that site size has really good benefits for people that are basically zero skills. Like if I meet someone that's like just zero skills, it's not that I will do site size in that way with translating points from the original to its drawing. I will still have the drawing next to the original, like I've done it today on Photoshop. So the person can get an easier way of understanding how to translate certain abstract shapes, you know, on his drawing and learn. Okay, let's draw this one again. Make a new layer. We're gonna use black. Marian, can you take care of the chat while I just draw this for a while?
Yep.
Thank you.
Georgia wrote, Theo, you have more of a structured approach. I was just focusing on getting the proportions right, and then for the color or value, I kind of cheated. Because I dropped the value by selecting the value in the given area.
Well, now it's time to do it the right way, I guess. It's never too late. It's never too late. Okay. I have to admit, I really don't like doing this digitally, but I think Hendrik said that it's easier to paint using a Wacom, but for line drawing, a Cintiq is way more beneficial. So I think I will have some hard times doing this, but let's just try our best. And I think this brush doesn't work very well in CS5. Somehow I do not know why it takes such a hard time to... Maybe I'm drawing at a very low resolution? Whatever. I will find a way. Okay. Marian, the chat is all yours. Let's also do this.
Georgia wrote, I didn't mix. Yes, now I'm doing oil and I mix it by myself. So he said that he didn't mix with the Photoshop, but now when he's doing oil, he's doing it by himself.
That's good.
I mean, I'm not sure if you need to mix when you're painting in Photoshop. I think you just need to have the color wheel or that triangle.
Yeah, I don't have it in on my computer here because it takes a little bit too much resources, and my laptop is already at 90 degrees.
Yeah, but with that one, it's fairly easy. Like, I think it's better to get used to that because it will help you in thinking. Haven't done much of that though, so I've done like a couple of studies, but I think that would be the best practice, even though it's hard at the beginning. I think that would be best practice. It's better to study 2 hours in a thoughtful manner than to study 10 hours and just doing mindless tricks that will make things look good. Yeah, I mean, you can do it in oils as well, but yeah, it's more cost effective to do it in Photoshop because it's just electricity that you're consuming.
Okay, 1 second. When you guys do this in Photoshop, try to have the middle line in a separate layer, because I just realized that, so it will be easier to view, so it will be easier to just take the line away, like this. I think you guys can see on the screen. Okay, let's continue. So for example, I'm looking at the red plumb line, then I'm looking at my dark plumb line. I can see that the edge here that I'm doing. By the way, Marian, can you see the cursor?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I can see that I'm doing it wrong and I'm fixing it. So it's nothing artistic, because we also have that thing that, oh, it needs to mean something. You will have time to create meaningful things. Right now we're just trying to learn how to draw. So don't be too harsh on yourself. Wait, where am I drawing? Okay, I'm drawing on this. Let's just lock that layer, delete this one so I don't take too much of the resources. Here we go, let's call this bargue. So, let's continue. I can already see that the distance from here to here is way too small. And then once we do a bunch of this one with the people that are on the live stream right now, I'm gonna try to, what's the word? Train myself to be a bit better when I do live stream traditionally. More patient as well, so it's a little bit different when I do digitally. So I'm translating every abstract shape. That's basically what I'm doing. Nothing fancy. I can see Sorry?
Georgiana wrote, in my opinion, the Cintiq is overrated as you have the disadvantage of covering with the hand you're drawing. I mean, I'm not sure if it's because there's so much stuff about the Cintiq. It's also the pressure sensitivity. It's much, much better than.
Oh, it's so much better. When I worked on Hendrik's the latest Cintiq is just amazing.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, for a beginner, I agree with you, Georgiana. I don't think you need a Cintiq. I think a Wacom tablet might do just fine. But for advanced work, if you want to be more time effective, a Cintiq would make your job easier. So therefore,
I mean, if I can interrupt you, it depends on what you're doing. If you're doing, let's say, digital fine art things, like stuff that Hendrik does, comic books, or things that I do with the print screens, where I basically do from zero and I paint everything and I do everything in Photoshop, a Cintiq can be very nice to have.
Yeah, exactly. If you're doing like, I don't know, photo bashing or illustration that is more like opaque on opaque layers, might not be a big difference. I mean, it's not a difference at all. But if you're using, I don't know, more transparencies, variation, I think there's a big difference there. I don't know. I think Hendrik would put it better on this one because he has a Cintiq.
I mean, when I was working on the True Detective, when I was doing the colors, it was such a nice feeling working on it. It made me more patient. That's what it did, actually. Okay, this song is horrible. Bye. Talk to you never. I also hope I can explain to people about cutout shadow shapes. We'll see how that's gonna go digitally. It's kind of the same thing. But I will have to do it traditionally so people can see the difference in how you apply the medium. There we go. I can already see Anders getting a Wacom and getting into Photoshop. Okay.
Georgiana wrote, I hope I'll have a Cintiq to try on once. I hope I'm wrong. And also, Georgia wrote that he bought one for $50 and it was great.
A Cintiq for $50?
No, not the Cintiq. I think a Wacom.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, what? What am I missing?
Yeah, that would have been something.
I really can't wait to explain to people a little bit more about finding those angles. No, I think one reason I like teaching is because of the bargues. I've learned so much from this bargues. It's insane. And I always told myself, I'll never do bargues ever again. Keep doing them. Keep doing them. They're great. And even this line here, this one, like the eyelid, even this one has a certain abstract shape and thickness to it. So that's also part of him. It's not enough to just do a line, it has to be that line. The thickness, and we will talk about that, the thickness and the angles of the lines. I'll try to explain that as coherent as I can. I think Anders is like having a tear dropping down his cheek, going like, she's really speaking good. I'm so proud of her. Yeah, that was a good chat. I'm super happy he told me about those stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Anders, you don't need computers. You need to get away from them. If you guys don't know who Anders is, he's like one of those computer freaks. Like, he showed me a little bit of a book he had when he was studying. I didn't understand anything.
No, he's a programmer. He's not a computer freak. What?
They're freaks, all of them.
Yeah. Aren't you a freak in that case? You're a pencil freak or a painting freak?
I have no idea what I am. I'm a no-lifer.
Yeah. Computer freak. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I do have to admit, like, the commissions that I'm doing when I do them digitally, it's so much faster, so much easier.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wouldn't say it's easier because it's like not having to deal with the material.
Yeah.
Makes it a bit easier.
And also to fix it, to fix the mistakes. Right click, you select what you need, right click, liquefied. Done. But of course, it's like Hendrik said, it feels that it's easy because I already have the skills. I'm seeing a lot of bad digital artwork out there because people don't really practice their skills.
It's also, for example, for me, it's harder just because I'm not yet in a comfortable zone with it, but I think I could learn quite fast.
Okay.
But It is difficult.
Yeah. But don't forget, on Monday when you and Anders go there, oh yeah, I need to give you the pin for my computer. So you can logging onto the computer.
I mean, I have my laptop. Okay.
No, why not use my computer? You can just use all that you want from it.
Oh, you mean to like
Yeah,
do
work in
some
Photoshop.
digital stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also, my brother managed to find the correct RAM. I'm so excited. It was cheaper. It's from Cell. So I've
The 16. Oh, okay.
the
Nice.
2x8, 1866 megahertz, and latency 9, which is great. It's a DD3, but my motherboard is quite old, so it's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my computer will become faster since I am actually gonna have Cintiqs pretty soon, like the older model from a good friend of mine. Okay, now we have this. This is perfect. So you guys saw what I did, and now let's go a little bit into some angles. Let's see what people have wrote here. Yes. I think, Pete, I can explain again. If you have only your dominant eye open, and I think we spoke about this one. If you forgot, I can explain to you on a private chat that we're gonna have. If you close one eye and you have your dominant eye open, and then from, let's say, when you move your eyes back and forth really fast from the original to your drawing, if you sense an animation between the two drawings, then you know that something is wrong with your drawing. So that's also very good. I think that's what you mean by flick your eye. Oh God, no. Oh no, he's here. We have another classy bathrobe situation going on. No, just a regular programmer. Okay. Did you see who's in the chat, Marian?
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, isn't
Hello,
it obvious? It's me, Wilhelm. Oh.
Okay,
finally.
let's not go crazy. I need to be serious here. Now, let's talk about this. Let's take red color. We will talk about this little angle. Only this little angle. You guys can already see what's wrong with it. But those type of things, the more you practice, and this is when I hope to God I will explain it as coherent as I can. Let me make my mobile silent. There you go. Now, imagine, let's make this on a different layer. Finally, I can make this happen. There you go. And this is a 90-degree angle. And Andres is like, yes, that looks exactly like a 90-degree angle. And now, let us move it around. Let's take it here. Look at that. Sorry, it's very pixelated. So.
William wrote, oh my God, drawing digital. What are you, a concept artist? Don't make me laugh.
Kiss my concept artist behind, Wilhelm. Ah, Theo, you're so much better at speaking on the stream. Yes, I am. Mathematical logic. Okay, let's go back to our horses over here. So now you can see that this here, the upper point is far to the right in relationship to whatever the middle point. So when I look at things, this is what I do. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. Same thing. This is a straighter one. Now I know that this is a straight one. Let's move. So I go around with my eyes And I try my best. And I should actually create another one. This is also quite straight, but I think you guys are getting an idea of how this one works. Look at this. This is also straight. So there's no ups and downs. This is just a straight line. But of course, let's do like this. Bam. Select 2 points. Let's push enter. There you go. So now, in a way, by having this little plus that you go around your subject, you're starting to see. Oh my god, let's do this. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. Let's make another layer. Oh my god, Photoshop, so amazing. Yes, it is very amazing and I love it. We have this abstract shape. Now, and then we have this one. This is one reason I keep talking about that. Because when you develop that sense, you will start seeing those angles. You're gonna be so much more picky with it. Because the more you start seeing it this way, your figures will become much more structured. And Wilhelm, I hope you're looking at this. Because when I'm at school and I look at the figures that you guys are doing, there's a lot of structure missing in the outline of your character. And let's just say that the outside, you know, the outline outside of whatever you're drawing, it's very important for you to see those angles, to be able to create more of an atmosphere and to see volumes, what comes forward, what goes back. I really hope that this kind of clicked for people that has been following my live streams. Let's see what people wrote. I've been teaching myself mathematical. Classy Bathrobe, I hope you're on YouTube as well, even though you are on Twitch. It can be fun for you to be on this chat as well. I've been teaching myself mathematical logic, like how if I eat 2 cobs of corn today, I can 2 cobs of corn tomorrow because my mom bought a lot of corn. Oh, So he's Classy Bathrobe on Twitch and Bed Blanket on YouTube. I was like wondering, who is this guy? Why is he writing it like this? By the way, Wilhelm, meet Classy Bathrobe. That's the dude I was talking about that I really miss from the stream. He's like the perfect art troll. Okay, let's do another one. Because I think this can be fun, even for me.
That's so funny.
Classy Bathrobe?
Yeah, I've been teaching myself mathematical logic, like how if I eat 2 cups of corn today, 2 cups of corn tomorrow, because my mom bought a lot of corn.
I love this guy. He's amazing. God bless. God
It's
bless.
That one is really good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, let's just say that we're trying to find the middle of this one. I will need to make that line. I think it's here. Classy Bathrobe. So classy. I think Wilhelm has competition right now.
Sorry, Wilhelm, but Classy Bathrobe is better.
Yes.
Now Wilhelm is what?
Why can't I make this line? Oh yeah, wait. There. Now it should work. Let's take this shape as well. So what I'm trying to do, guys, I'm sorry for taking so long. I'm trying to make sure that this here where the 90 degrees symbol is exactly in the middle of these 2 points. This one and this one. So I want this to be middle. So it's the same thing. And this is what I do when I work. This abstract shape. And you guys will see what will happen. There you go. So, there. Now, and let's say that I have all of these. Let's bring back those angles and then also this. So, we have all of those stuff. So let's say that I need to fix this part here. It's the same thing. Let's see, this. So this is the one.
Now we have 24 people on.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Look at that. So this is what you want to do. Translating these abstract shapes that of course you visualize. Let's say that this was traditional. And you can see that there's some mistakes. It's not really relating correctly. This point here, it's way too low in relationship to the original. So this is how I've tried in the last 10 years to develop this way of seeing things. And that's one reason I don't want to brag about myself, but I'll be Dennis if you guys get my joke. It was a nice, stressful way to push myself to see it this way. Because most of my things, when I draw them, like my figures, they have this nice structure to it. I had a period when I was overdoing it, but now I think in the last 6 to 1 year, like the last one, let's say 12, 24 months, I've been getting softer in the way I'm drawing the outline. But when I draw the outline, it's really well structured. And when I add the value, I have a way of keeping my lines under control while adding the value to keep the structure there. So again, it will have that nice, appealing look to it. So people, when they look at it, they identify what's happening there. Because a lot of people, they don't really think about these angles and it becomes too rounded. So then it's lacking form. Panamaniacs 2011. It's a little bit hard for me to explain it from the beginning. If you want, you can rewatch the video again. What I'm trying to do is show people how I'm seeing abstract shapes and how I construct based off a 2D flat form or even from life, how I draw and whatever translated it on a 2D flat form. Okay, let's see what Classy Bathrobe said. It cost me too much grocery money to learn math. Oh my god. I love this guy.
Read the other one. I know that 1 + 1, and that's a reply to Anders's comment.
I think Anders is slapping his forehead. Can you read it for me while I continue here?
Yeah. Anders wrote a quote from my art teacher on that course. But how do you know that 1 + 1 equals 2? The entire class was stumped. Well, you can't learn... This is Georgia. Well, you can't learn what a successor is in elementary school, or should you? That's probably a bit early.
I just don't know what to say. I am completely
And then
shocked.
Classy Battle wrote, I know that 1 + 1 is 2, because one day I ate a pound of corn, and then I ate another pound of corn, and then my doctor told me that I gained 2 pounds.
Oh my god. Oh. I'm so happy he's back.
That's true, Anders.
Okay, guys.
The chat is quite derailed.
I kind of love it. I'm actually happy that my mind is a bit slow right now. This is a good training to just think slow. Here's a question, guys. I can continue working on the one that we just started, but do you want me to explain a little bit more about cut out shadow shapes? I've noticed that some people overdo the cut out shadow shapes in, like, let's say, softer parts of the shadow. So maybe I can find a way to do it digitally, and then we can try to apply it on the next live stream when I'm back in Sweden again, with you guys, of course. So it will be easier to kind of, let's say, to kind of sink in. What have we started? Is this art or math? I always joke that 2 + 2 = 5. It never equals 4 because I don't like, having to. When I share, I want to have one extra just in case. Let's see if people will answer my question, and then we can go for the shadow shapes. But people are too much into math right now. It reminds me of a certain reference. Let's see if I find it. So this is the reference I'm kind of picking on right now, when he was trying to figure out where all the letters were going. This is you guys in my mind right now.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, Pete has spoken. Let's try it out. Let's see, which one do we want to pick? Do you guys want me to share these bark plates with you guys? I can upload them now and send the link now to you guys, and then it's only you guys that have it. I wish I could remember the name of the person that I downloaded from, because I really think it would be nice to donate to him. I think he also had like a donation button, which I actually did. It's so funny. I'm an artist and I still donate. I found this amazing site and I got some amazing non-copyrighted figure. This model, she has the perfect face. I actually donated $30 because it was just great. It was exactly what I needed. So your donation goes to other donations. Thank you for supporting other artists. Okay, let's do this first. I'm gonna put these ones on WeTransfer and then put it in the chat and you guys can download them. What's the difference between the book plates and the ones you have? The thing is that Anders bought the actual bark book and I did try to scan them, but somehow I wasn't really getting the same quality as this artist did. Maybe he spent more time.
I think he might have had access to an original one.
I think so. I need to find the site I downloaded from.
I mean, all of these are lithographs, so the plates. So I think he might have had access to like an original book or like an original printed version.
I don't know. I remember that the site was in Italian as well. I have no idea how I found his site. It took me a while because I was so fed up with having bad quality barks. Oh, I remember why I looked online.
Yeah,
it was
true,
for Anders. I was trying to find them for him.
Yeah, they are cleaned up better, the ones online.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. I think even the ones that we have at the school, they're cleaned really well. Yeah, some of them are. I think there are a bunch of Oh, you mean like the actual plates? I don't know where they...
Marian, how can I use WeTransfer? Because it says like I have to email to people. How should I do this to just make
No, you don't have to email. You just go to those three dots down there.
Aha. Okay. But
Have you clicked on them? I see it in delay. Yeah, there. And then go to get a link.
I did that.
Yes.
It's transferring now. Okay.
Okay.
I hope this will work. Because I'm also streaming. About 9 minutes remaining. My god. Let's see if people...
Should be fine.
Yeah. Let's just chat a little bit until this is done. I can also recollect myself. I'm trying to be so fancy in my words right now. It's kind of stupid. I'm just trying to get my brains together again before I get back into some shadow working with you guys. And I think I know which one I'm gonna be using. Theo, I wanted to ask you, when you do the bargs and you put in the shadows, what about the light? Do you always leave the tone of the paper or you put the lightest value in? It really depends on what stage I am when I draw it. There's a bunch of stages that we have to think when, let's say, because right now at the stage I'm at, when I draw, it's a big mush, flat. But when you're learning the bargs, I think this sample that I'm gonna do right now might answer your question. Because I'm gonna try to be as explicit as I can from the simplification after the sketch to the cutout shadow shape. Let me read the question again. This is a little bit more like a third step that you're talking about. At the beginning, I try to just have, let's say, two shadow shapes, the white of the paper and a flat gray tone. That's what we call the flat tones, basically. When you use, let's say, you have the black is black, which is 100%, and I think I will be able to explain it better in Photoshop when I start. And then you add, after you cut out the shadow shape, you add this flat tone. Of course, you try to relate it to your brightest dark, if that's the case. Whoa, the original plates are in the London Museum. Oh, the bargue ones. Okay, that's cool. Can be fun, maybe when if I can have the chance to go there, I can scan them, but we'll see about that. Almost there, guys. I'll be able to send you the link. I love how the music just goes well with the percentage going up. There you go, 100%. 100%, Marian. 100%.
100%.
Okay, copy 100%. Link. 100%. Guys, let me know if you're getting this. There you go. Let's put it on Twitch as well, just in case there's someone there. So, I wonder where Misha is. I actually traveled with my kitty today, and the poor little kitty did a pee-pee in her baggie. Ah, God, I love that cat. Everybody got the transfer? So we can continue because I have 30 minutes more before we end the live stream. Good, I'm glad. Okay, let's see, which one should we pick? Marian, I really love the fact that Skype shows me a little picture of you. Let's put it here in the middle. I wish I could make it bigger. I can't. Damn it.
And I can send it to you on Messenger. No.
It's fine.
Too complicated.
Oh, everything looks so hard. one reason they feel very hard is because the process of making them right, it's such a tedious, time-consuming to do them. But this is all the plates. You guys got all of this. And this one can be a good one. It also has a simplification. But I think I will take this one because this one... No, there you go, this one. This is a very typical one. This one over here is not Marian. Fuck off, Marian. Go away. Okay, here. Now, let's talk about this one. This is this Dante, Marian?
Yes.
Yeah. So this one is the one that people gets to do in charcoal. So Andish, if you're still on, when you're done with the pencil, this is the one you're gonna do in charcoal. I mean, the first plates, the ones that we worked at the beginning of the live stream, can be half of A4. So let's say that you have the original on an A4 paper. You put it on the paper, and then on the right side, you just do the drawing. Okay, let's continue. Let me think how I can put this one up. I already have the drawing here, so I can use this one. I will do it like that because we don't have time. Let's select this one. Control C. There you go. Where is the tool? There. So. There you go. Control V. So, let's have it here. If you're left-handed, your drawing should be on the left side. If you're right, on the right side. I usually despise lefties. They're so hard to work with. That's a joke. That sounded so cool. That's a joke. Oh, I'm such an evil ass.
Yeah, that sounded pretty bad.
What kind of paper do... I'm joking. You know that my favorite lefty is Ricard. What kind of paper do you use? Let's say a smooth paper that can take damage. If you are right-handed, I suggest you put the reference on the right. Hey, Working Dark on Twitch.
If you're right-handed, on the left, you mean?
Wait, let me think.
If you're right-handed, you put the reference on the left. If you're left-handed, you put the reference on the right.
Yes, thank you. Oh.
Yes.
Hey, Misha. Oh, here's my little baby. Yeah. Hey, meow meow.
Does it bother you that it's on the left, the reference?
I don't know. I think it might be a bit easier. Oh, you're talking to
Why
Georgia?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You said it's bothering. Why do you think it's bothering? Or it doesn't bother? Classy Bathrobe wrote, my grandmother told me that all lefties have tails, and so I don't stand behind them in line. Georgiana asked you if you travel with your cat.
Yep. If you feel like it, Georgiana, you can actually come to my parents' place and you can meet her if you want.
Or do you have a Misha in every country?
No. It was kind of cute when Misha met up my mom's cat. Cute stuff. Oh, Axe! Oh yeah, wait! That's how you're called on Discord as well. Hey, Axe.
Hey, Misha. I know. I'll be done in like 20 minutes. Yes, I love you too. Slow blink. Beep, beep, beep.
Okay, let's focus on this. Let's take black. First things first. right now, this is just a sample of how Charles Bargue saw of this one. So he tried to simplify it. Right now, let's say that we're taking it to another level. We can see that on the cheek side... Ow, ow, Misha, don't put your claws in my thigh. Sorry, my cat wants attention.
You need to let me work, sweetie. Can you let me work? I know you're a little bit of a needy, but Mama has to work, sweetie.
Okay. So, the way I'm seeing it, and the way... I wonder if this is easier. I have a better idea. Just wait a second, guys. Let's do it like this. This can actually be a good one. Let's fill this one in with white. Lower down the opacity so we can actually see it. There we go. We're gonna use black. So let's just say that this was your drawing, right? I mean, you're still drawing it and you're trying to cut out the shadow shapes. Obviously here, the cut out shadow shape will be sharp because the shadow shape is sharp. But in areas like this, you will try to keep it softer. Let's say that this is pencil. Here you can be a bit sharper. Here you can be softer. It doesn't work digitally. Let's see if I can take down the opacity of my brush. I still wanted black because that's the thing with digital. If you do it digitally, you need to take down the opacity because you don't want to use a gray tone. You want to use it black, and you will see what I mean. So if this was pencil, I have to take it even lower. Just a very light touch. You see? Just a very, very light touch. So you're looking at your subject and you try to understand how light should I make that line based off what the shadow shape is in there. So right now, I'm somewhere around there. Of course, if you're doing this in charcoal, it's very easy. You just tap the charcoal off. Yes, pencil. The first one that we did at the beginning of the stream, pencil. This one that I'm working on right now, this is a very good example for charcoal. So if you get into charcoal, this is the one you should pick. If you need my help, it will also be easier for me to work with. Question, when I get back to Sweden, do you guys want me to do a live stream where I actually do a charcoal drawing based off this one as a bargue? Because if that's the case, I will need to communicate with Marian and see when we can find a good time, and somehow, I don't know how, set it up in a way that you guys can... What happened, Marian?
Something happened?
Yeah.
I think I moved my phone. Did you hear something? Or?
Yep. If you move it, you pick
Oh,
it up gently
sorry.
and you move it. All right, where was I?
Sorry.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, because this is the tricky part with doing a bargue. You guys will always see mistakes, so even if it's gonna be a little bit on the side,
Yes, Misha, we'll be done soon.
I think you guys will accept some of the mistakes, but it will be nice for me to do a charcoal drawing of this one as a bargue, as a true, let's say, test, so you guys can see. All right, let's just continue. So I can also get an idea of other parts. The thing is that right now, it's kind of... Misha, oh, she's on the table. 1 second. Misha, seriously now.
You're cute. You're in the way. Go, Misha.
Go to mama. Go to mama. Yeah, I think, Marian, we should do a live stream of me drawing this one.
Sorry, Henrik.
Ah, Henrik is on. Hey, sweetie. Misha is being all needy. Okay, so we have this, and let's say that all of this is already, you guys, let's say that we already drew it and we have like a very defined line of it, because right now all of this is quite sharp. So let's just do this. People will be like, oh my god, you're cheating. Nah, I'm just making it easier for myself because I don't have time to show off my awesome skills. So for example, a lot of students at the school, when they cut out the shadow shape, they really push on the charcoal. They do it almost like this. Like super, super hard. Like a really defined shadow shape. And when they apply the charcoal, because we will talk about that next time when I come back to Sweden, we will talk about applying the charcoal and how to keep it soft and stuff like that. So when they do it, they have to erase it. As a beginner, some of them pushes on the charcoal. So I always tell people before they start using the charcoal, just have a separated page, like a paper, and just do lines from the hardest line to the soft. Learn how to, let's say, glide the charcoal on top of the paper to be able to get those nice, let's say, light touches of charcoal. On the stream that we are going to have with this one, I'm going to do again some sharpening the charcoal. I will ask Marian to hold the camera in a certain way, and I will just show you guys again how I sharpen the charcoal and how you can hold the charcoal. This is more of a technical approach, but I do believe that it's important to do it. Now, look at this. My mobile just switched on. I didn't say hello Google. Stop listening to me. Oh, so freaky. Okay, let's take this one away. Now, let's say that we're done with this and we want to add a flat tone value. My darkest dark is this one. This one here. This is my darkest dark. Let me see where it is. This is my darkest dark. This one here. So that's the one I'm gonna pick. But this one is gonna be all the way to the end. Right now, I'm gonna pick this value over here, because it feels like it's between the whitest white and my darkest dark. Of course, we will be able to, we will make decisions. There are different situations where the values are a little bit different, and that's fine. But right now, as a simplified way, let's do it like this. Let's take that away. Let's do this, poof. Okay, so now we just have a tracing of this one. So I have pure black. I will take the opacity all the way down to 10%. Let's just say, I don't know, maybe 10 is a good one. So when you learn how to hold the charcoal, you will need to push 10% to make sure you don't go 100% dark. And then, let's see if this is the one. There you go. Of course, again, this is digital. It doesn't really blend, but you can see that it almost gets flattened. So this is what we call a flat tone value. There's no shading. There's no variations in that way. Of course, I tell people, you can still have that. It's nothing wrong with it. Okay, let's see again the reference. I'm gonna take this one here. Just 1 second. My Photoshop skills. Thank you, Hendrik, for teaching me. There you go. Tongue. There. Let's take this one away. There you go. We have this. We have this. Control V. There. So now, once I have the flat tone value, I can actually start, and let's say that the drawing is correct. Once you add the flat tone value, your drawing becomes more visible. So you're fixing it even more. Because, you know, the process of a drawing, nothing is correct until you're done. And then I can raise up my pressure on the charcoal. And I can start going darker in the areas that I need to go darker. So all of this, you see that right now, because this is digital, unfortunately, it kind of gets on top of each other. So the darks, they become darker, of course, because I'm not using gray, I'm using black. And then when everything feels better, let's say that all of this will be filled in. And then you know the drawing is correct. You can start gently applying the darks and everything, like all of those cutout shadow shapes we did, like here, when I add the dark, it just blends with the edge of the shadow shape, the line edge shadow shape that we drew. But I think this will be much better shown when I do it traditionally. You'll have a better idea of how it works. Because the thing is that when you add those lines and then you add again the charcoal, you just want that to blend. So you don't give yourself extra work. And with time, all of the steps that I will try my best to explain will merge into one. So when you start drawing, the process, you're already using, let's say, there are 10 processes of drawing, you're already using the 8th process. So you're skipping all of the most important fundamental steps all the way to the 8th step towards the 10th step. I think I can't continue with this anymore because it doesn't do much. It maybe gave you an idea, but I think the best solution is to actually do it traditionally. I think I'm kind of done, Marian. This is very good. I feel very good about this. I think I explained much better what I wanted to explain for the last 2 years.
You've done pretty good.
Yeah? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But it would be more helpful if people would write some feedback.
Yeah, and
or
definitely
some questions.
I'm coming back on the 29th.
Do you have any?
Yeah, that would be great if I can get some questions like what would you want to see from, let's say, the traditional one. Thank you, Pete. I'm coming back.
Like if anyone needs any clarifications regarding anything, just shoot.
But I promise you guys, after I come back on the 29th, me and Marian, we're going to sit down, try our best to put the cameras in a certain way. So when I start doing the charcoal bark drawing, everybody can see clearly, and I will actually want Marian to really stay on the computer, and you know, Marian, you'll basically be the technical support. I would prefer you doing that. I know I will want you to draw, but I think it will be a much better idea if you just make sure that the cameras are right, the sharpness is right, so I can just focus on the drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I think that, again, Pete, when I start drawing, since art is a visual language, hopefully that's gonna make more sense. And then that video, it's gonna be online. You guys can rewatch it as many times as you want. I will keep on doing this. I'm not gonna stop. I have full support from my family, and let's just have fun, see what happens. I think I need to sleep, but I don't know if I want to, cause last night I dreamt I was pregnant. This is such a classy bathrobe thing.
But what is the gender of
classy bathrobe? I think it's a it. Yeah. He never said what he was, or it never said what it was.
It? What do you mean it? It's an object?
I don't know. I don't know what the classy bathrobe is.
Maybe he's an AI. Or she's an AI.
Hey, Misha.
I think my little baby needs me right now. I will need to feed her. Is there any other questions, guys? I think this was the most non-Teo stream ever. Very professional. I'm gonna give myself 10 out of 10. Wow. Teo, you're so snobbish. Oh, a he. Oh, so he's a he.
Okay, so you dreamt that you were pregnant. That's interesting.
Very. How many people are on the stream right now?
17.
Okay. The 17 people that are on the stream, I'm actually gonna... Do you guys have my email? I think my email is... Everybody should know it. I'm glad. I'm super happy. I would love if you guys write an email regarding the stream Charles Bargue charcoal drawing. Write down what you would like to see me doing, so I can take those little notes and look over them with Marian, so we can prepare it better for you guys. So I'll write down my email. It's online. It's nothing to be hello@kapat.art. There you go. That's about it
As
for
long
today.
as the requests are reasonable. No.
Who? What?
As long as the requests are reasonable.
Yes.
Yeah, because you said that just write me whatever you want to see me doing. So you need to specify that.
Yes.
Not everything is on the table.
Yes, not everything.
Yes, we
Some
will.
people might get the wrong idea.
The thing is that now that Marian will take full control of the technical parts, I can just focus on the drawing and make sure that it's not gonna go for more than 2 hours. I might actually prepare the drawing before I start the live stream, because you guys have seen me drawing. It's enough, so I don't waste time, so I can get into the technical parts. What do you guys think about this? Do you think it's a good idea, or you guys want to see it from the beginning, like the way I draw it? You know, top, bottom, all of that stuff. What do you think, Marian? Should I just start from zero, or should I already have a sketch and an idea down on the paper?
I think it's better if you have the sketch. I don't know, I'm trying to think.
I have
So
an
you're
idea.
thinking of doing the cast, or
I
you're
think I
thinking
have
of
an
doing
idea. Sorry for interrupting you. We will prepare
Yeah.
some drawings. So we're gonna do some charcoal drawing. You can also do it for me. We're gonna have like maybe 4 pieces of paper. You know, like this is gonna be that stage, and that's when we're gonna apply the value so they can see. You understand what I mean? Like already have the drawings ready for the stream.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can help me with that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in at Teodora Kapot's stream, Chilling in Art, episode 39, Drawing Digitally. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe and always support the artist, so we will make nicer videos in the future. Introducing my partner, Vasile Marian. Thank you, Vasile. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You guys been great.
Yeah.
So,
It was a good one.
yeah, it was. I actually really liked it, and I have to give special thanks to Anders, my good friend that explained to me how to actually think and not go crazy. I actually have been really calm. It's been great not to speed up and talking like a lunatic. Okay, that's about it for today, guys. Any other questions before we go? I'm glad, George. I really am glad. See you, classy bathrobe. Good night, everyone.
See you, classy bathrobe.
Yes. Okay, let's end the stream.
With no questions. Bye-bye, guys.
Papa, poop.
Poopage.
Papa.
I will try my best to continue in this matter. Okay, everyone. Have a nice night and tune in next week on Saturday. Again, every Saturday, Chilling in Art, episode 40. Let's see what we're gonna do. It's still gonna be digital. I have no traditional, I have no cameras to be able to do it traditionally. Okay, guys. Mwah. Teo and Vasile signing off.